Hello and welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano, and today we will learn all about Manet Community Health Center's June Bloom fundraiser that's coming up next month. First, though, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, some hazy sunshine, kind of breezy, 60 degrees right now. I think today is really the best day out of the next three with a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures in the low 60s this afternoon. Another chilly night tonight. Clouds will increase, lows drop tonight to the upper 40s. Tomorrow is dry, but it won't be sunny. A lot of clouds around, and temperatures tomorrow into the mid 60s. The rain moves in late Saturday overnight, and for most of the day on Sunday it looks wet, unfortunately, with highs Sunday only in the mid 50s. A shower could linger into Memorial Day morning on Monday, and then cloudy for the rest of the day. Temperatures into the mid 60s. It looks to brighten up and warm up toward the middle of next week. Again, partly sunny and 60 in Quincy right now. Checking out the news for you today, Lunar New Year will be a holiday on the Quincy Public Schools calendar next year. The school committee this week voted to approve the creation of the new school holiday after 5 years of discussion and passionate pleas from residents. Committeeman Tom Leung said that voters last year supported him and Kate Campbell in part because they supported the Lunar New Year holiday.
So then you made myself and Ms. Campbell your top choices in last year's election. We both were openly and enthusiastically supportive of recognizing Lunar New Year. With the mayor's stated support, we are on the verge of getting this done. It should not have taken this long, but I'm confident that it will. And when it does, they're going to write case studies about your efforts and your persistence in applying all the tools of the democratic process. And those who try to impede your progress will just be minor footnotes. Your voices are heard. I am with you all the way.
Thank you, Mr. Leung. We now have a roll call vote.
All 6 members who were at this week's meeting voted in favor of the Lunar New Year holiday. Opponents Kathy Hubley and Tina Cahill changed their votes to yes. And opponent Paul Bergoli did not attend the meeting. Lunar New Year has previously been an excused absence for students. Lunar New Year falls on Saturday, February 6th next year, so schools will already be closed. The Quincy City Council Finance Committee this week voted to cut most of the funding for the Emergency Management Department. Councilors voted 6-3 to effectively eliminate the department currently headed by former Ward 1 City Councilor Dave McCarthy, with supporters of the cut claiming that the department's duties are already provided by the police and fire departments. But mayoral spokesman Chris Walker argued that the department was created in response to the devastating flooding that occurred in 2018 and proved invaluable during this past winter's blizzard.
I think at the very least, this body owes the department, the administration, the ability to follow up with some questions and answers before it moves forward with eliminating a public safety department. That's what we're talking about here. I could not disagree more that this is redundant. There's cooperation. Of course there's cooperation. That's the way it's supposed to work. But it is not redundant. And I would just, again, emphasize that on the record that we believe it is an exceptional mistake to give up what we've created over the last several years. I guess that's my piece on this.
However, a majority of councilors voted to cut a total of about $172,000 from the department, leaving only the salary for the operations manager. It will be up to the administration to decide how to reorganize the department. Councilors Richard Ashe, Walter Hubley, and Noel DeBona voted against cutting that department. Quincy City Council continues to debate the issue of salary increases for city councilors and the mayor. At this week's council meeting, officials continued proposals that would repeal the raises that were approved by the previous council after the city's attorney said that doing so would completely erase all salaries for all elected officials.
If folks are interested in deferring and they defer, there's no issue. The use of the word repeal is fatal to these ordinances and remains fatal because the vote is occurring now. It says in paragraph 1 that section 1, that's the repealed section in the new revised ordinance. So what happens is, the first thing that happens is you repeal the prior ordinance, and then the second thing that happens is you try to tackle a change.
Now, at the beginning of this year, counselors' pay went from $29,700 to $44,500. Many counselors said they are deferring their raises or donating the extra money to charities or to the Quincy schools. Mayor Thomas Koch had previously deferred his salary increase from $150,000 to $285,000 until the next mayoral term in 2028. Council agreed to continue the matter until a meeting on June 1st. Also at that meeting on June 1st, City Council will discuss the city's proposal to purchase the former Eastern Nazarene College property. The former college has accepted an offer from the city to buy the entire 20-acre parcel for $21 million. The city is seeking to borrow $22.5 million for the purchase and to plan for future uses at that site. Council President Ann Mahoney said councilors need more information before they can vote on the purchase.
And we're certainly expecting to see more information for this. You know, what's your plan? How much is going to cost? how much is it going to cost for us to be able to manage that building? How long will it take for your vision to come into play? Who's going to do it? The first thing that we're coming for is the $22 million for us to approve. That's just for the purchase. And there's demolition. Is there any asbestos? What are the things that there's additional costs, and they're coming fast and rapidly. And I will say that we've done this before. This administration has a history of purchasing things in a rush, only to turn around for it to cost us a lot more money.
Ideas for future uses of the property include creating senior housing, allowing Quincy College to use the gym and the playing fields, creating a community center, and creating a new park. The Finance Committee will discuss the proposal at that meeting on June 1st. Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch is not concerned about Moody's Investment Service's recent downgrade of the city's bond rating. Moody's lowered the city's rating from AAA to A1 based on the city's low cash reserves and total of $1.8 billion in debt. Mayor says the change reflects financial struggles impacting many communities.
Yeah, it doesn't really change much, Joe. We've been through this over the years, some ups and downs. S&P and Moody's are the two agencies generally that rate the city, and the reserves is an issue from their viewpoint. We'd all like to see more reserves, and it becomes a debate of reserves or what. Do we not do this or do that to build the reserves? It will not change our interest rate. All our the institutions we deal with are very comfortable with Quincy. They've dealt with Quincy. The irony on all of this is the city in its since 1888 has never missed a bond payment. So some of these things are, it's just part of the process. They downgraded the federal government a few years ago. There's a lot of cities and towns going through challenges now with revenues, Prop 2.5 overrides. So there'll be a number of downgrades.
Last year, S&P Financial also lowered the city's bond rating, also citing low reserves. The mayor set aside $2 million in next year's city budget for the reserve fund. Moody's did report that Quincy is still a good credit risk due to a diverse economy and high median income level. Quincy police have now identified a suspect in connection with an attack on another man with a knife in Quincy Center last week. On May 11th, just before 9:30 p.m., police say this attack occurred in the roadway behind the United First Parish Church. This video shows a man slashing at another man, eventually cutting a gash in the victim's sweatshirt, but leaving him uninjured. Now, the suspect was described as a black male last seen wearing a dark-colored winter jacket, sweatpants, Nike sandals, and white socks. Quincy Police Chief Mark Kennedy speculated the victim had some formal training by avoiding injury. Detective John Menn says that a suspect has been identified, although further information has not yet been released. Quincy College will be holding its 68th annual commencement ceremony next week. About 400 students in the class of 2026 will graduate next Wednesday at 11 a.m. at the Marriott Hotel at the Crown Colony Office Park in West Quincy. And this year's commencement speaker is Lauren Jones, the Secretary of the Massachusetts Executive Office of Labor and Workforce Development. Jones was appointed by the Healy-Driscoll administration and will speak about workforce development and expanding economic opportunity. Prior to her current role, Jones was Executive Vice President of the Massachusetts Business Roundtable, previously led the Business Strategy Unit at Boston City Hall. The QATV will be carrying the commencement ceremony live on May 27th at 11 a.m. That is a look at news today. Coming up, Manet Community Health Center getting ready for their annual spring fundraiser. We'll get all the details next. Welcome back. We're happy to welcome back to the program the good folks from Manet Community Health Center, this time here to talk about their annual June Bloom fundraiser. It is set for Thursday, June 4th at Leo's Events and Restaurants in Braintree. So a brand new location, and Sandra McGunigle and Michelle Duggan are here. Ladies, welcome. Happy spring.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks for having us.
So nice
You're
to have
welcome.
us.
That's great to talk to folks from Manet. It's always a pleasure. You do such great work in the community. Been around for so many years and expanded exponentially, really, in the past few years, Sandra. But for folks who might not be aware, because I always like to say there's new people coming to the city all the time. And
Absolutely.
They never have heard of Manet. So give us a little background.
Sure. Thank you. So Manet Community Health, yes, we have been around in Quincy for quite some time, since 1979. In fact, our founding site in Howes Neck, which is still in operation.
There. Yep.
We now have 4 sites in Quincy. We have a site in Germantown, our Snug Harbor site, as well as one at the Father Bills and Mainspring Housing Resource Center.
Yes.
That was our newest Quincy site, but our largest site in Quincy is our North Quincy location, which is at 110 West Quondam Street.
Sure.
In addition, we also have a site in Hull and 2 sites in Taunton and 1 in Attleboro. So, as you said, we are growing exponentially.
Really?
Yeah, actually close to 30,000 patients.
Wow.
Almost 100,000 visits a year.
Wow.
So, but our heart remains in Quincy
Of
as well,
course,
and
yeah.
always will be.
Sure.
So, a little bit about Manet. Obviously, our main focus is on primary care. That's the heart of what we do. But we also have a wide array of services that we kind of build around folks to make sure that they have everything that they need to stay healthy. That includes mental health counseling, substance use and recovery services. We have chronic disease care management, nurse care managers who help folks with things like
Diabetes, right? Heart
high blood
conditions.
pressure, things like that.
Yeah.
Nutrition services,
Yes.
They kind of work hand in hand.
Outstanding team.
Oh, they've been here many
Nutrition
times.
services,
Yep,
yeah,
and they're wonderful.
Yeah.
We have community health specialists who help connect folks who need different community, just extra support, transportation assistance or housing assistance, things like that. Sit with them, fill out their applications, work with them to get them connected to what they need. Our health insurance navigators, who
Yes.
have been here many times
Yes.
as well, help folks with their health insurance needs. At North Quincy, that's our, as I mentioned, our largest site. We have some special kind of programs there. We have our pharmacy, which is open to the community as well
Right.
as to our patients.
It's the best kept secret, actually.
Yeah, no, it's really wonderful right there at 110 West
Yeah.
Quondam Street. We have a vision center. We have 2 optometrists on staff and that is open to the community as well as
Good
to
to
our
know.
patients.
Yeah.
So we also offer x-rays and mammograms for our patients, which is so convenient.
Yes,
You
and
know,
so
people
critical.
I mean, people have difficulty getting appointments, and they can have it, come right down
Right
from
in
their
their
doctor's
backyard.
appointment.
Yeah, it's
so
your
it's
flagship location. Yeah, it's great.
it's wonderful. And so, Manet's mission, we really, we don't turn any patients away.
And that's the core of community health centers, right?
It is. You know,
is to make
that's
healthcare
really
available to all.
exactly.
regardless. Yeah.
I mean, that's why we were, why the whole movement began,
Right.
to make sure that everyone, regardless of their situation, has access to same quality
Right.
care. So, and that's why having events like June Bloom are so important, because not everything is covered by, paid for by insurance and so forth.
Sure.
So we need to rely on our philanthropy and fundraising. So
Yep.
hence June Bloom.
June Bloom, yeah. Well, I mean, Manet is a nonprofit 501c3
Yep.
corporation, so any donations are tax deductible. I always like to point that out.
Yes,
as
good point,
well.
thank you.
But, by supporting the health center, I mean, you're really supporting your neighbors, right? Your
Exactly,
friends, people in the
exactly.
community. It's right in the name, Manet
Yep.
Community Health Center.
Yep.
So it really is giving back to your community, either financially or I know there are volunteer opportunities
Absolutely,
as well at
absolutely.
Manet's. But yeah, as you mentioned, June Bloom, this is kind of your signature event, right? That happens every year.
It does.
And as I mentioned this year, it's Thursday, June 4th at Leo's Events and Restaurant in Braintree, which is Leo Keka's latest creation in the culinary field. Michelle, this is your baby, right?
Oh gosh, well, it's definitely a team effort, but
Oh, for
happy,
sure.
but happy to be helping to drive the charge on it. We're really excited about the event this year.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what will be happening. It starts at 5:30, runs through 8:30.
Yes.
What's it all about?
Yeah, so it's a great event, and I will kick things off by just giving a big shout out and thank you to our event sponsors who make it all possible. Our biggest sponsor, our health center champion sponsor is Fox Rock Properties, who's been a wonderful partner of Manet for years.
Excellent.
We're so appreciative of their support.
Right here in Quincy as well.
Right here in Quincy.
The real estate arm of Granite Telecommunications.
Yeah.
right?
Yep. They're wonderful. We also have our community hope sponsors, and that includes, Mayor Tom Koch in the city of Quincy, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Massachusetts, and Globo, South Shore Health, as well as the Massachusetts League of Community Health Centers. And the list goes on from there. I appreciate you sharing all of our wonderful partners and sponsors. But it's truly, it's for a community cause, and it's really supported by the community.
Yeah.
So
And
we're
interestingly,
appreciative.
some of the sponsors you mentioned are other healthcare providers, so that they're not seeing you as competition. They're in this together.
Yeah, we're really in this together, and I
Yeah.
think there's just a lot of collaboration and support to best serve our patients.
Sure.
Yeah,
So important to
yeah,
recognize that for sure.
for sure.
So tell me about the fun stuff that'll be happening that night.
The fun stuff.
Yeah.
So we've got a really special event planned. Like as you mentioned, we're excited to be at the new Leo's Events and Restaurant Braintree. We've got some fun event highlights that I'll just share,
Yes.
kicking off with our raffle. So we've got a wonderful raffle this year for guests to participate. And actually, you don't need to be present at the event to purchase raffle tickets or present to win. So folks are welcome to purchase tickets online now
Oh, even
on our
right now?
website.
Okay, great.
Yep, they're all up there.
Okay.
We've got a really wide range of prizes, from sports memorabilia to dining experiences and some smart home technology and some fun things like that. So again, if you want to support the health center, whether you can attend or not, feel free to purchase tickets. They're $3 for $25, $10 for $50, or 25 tickets for $100. So you
Okay.
can go online, check those out.
Okay, manetchc.org.
Yep, you got
Okay.
it, /June Bloom. We also have a wine pull at the event this year, and it's really just offers this gorgeous selection of red and white Southern Italian wines, which is great. And our sort of unique twist on it is we also have, as part of that, extra virgin olive oil,
Oh, no
because we have
kidding.
some folks that may or may not choose to drink and
Yeah.
like to cook, and so that's kind of all tying into our Southern Italy theme.
Fun, okay.
Very fun.
Okay.
And each
Although you can cook with wine too.
Yes, you can. You can. Indeed.
point.
Indeed.
That's great.
Each bottle is really, it's kind of a work of art in and of itself.
Yes.
So folks can go to the event itself. They can purchase, a bottle for $25 or 2 for $45, and
Okay.
it's just fun. It's another fun element
Nice.
that raises funds for the health center. While we're talking about food and wine, just wanted to point out we've got a great menu. We're super excited to be able to partner with Leo and his culinary team on this, and so guests will be able to enjoy antipasto and food stations and past hors d'oeuvres, all kinds of great things, and no one will leave hungry. We know that, so it'll be
Okay.
great.
Healthy things, I'm sure.
Yes,
It is a health
yes.
center after all.
It
so
is,
yes.
of course, approved by our nutrition team.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So we've got that, and then probably the piece that we're most excited about this year is our silent auction.
Okay.
We are just so just blown away by the generosity of some of the donors and the partners that have offered up great auction items to support. Yeah, it's really great. So again, similar to the raffles, folks are able to obviously bid online at the event, but also if anybody's interested in bidding on some of these items and they're not at the event, we're going to be pushing the silent auction live next Tuesday, May 26th.
Okay.
You can kind of go online right now and preview some of the items that we have.
Good to know.
But maybe I could tease a couple of
Please,
them.
please do.
Yeah, it's great. I think one of the items that we're most excited about is we have this really unique trip to the Amalfi Coast.
Wow.
That will be part of the auction. Yeah, it's titled "Do as the Italians Do" because it's really kind of a behind-the-scenes, more intimate tour. Of course, the winning 2 guests will be able to visit some more famous destinations, but also check out some of the hidden gems. Right, go on some local tours of visit small farms and wineries and some hands-on experiences and really get a flavor of the food of the region.
Wow.
So it'll be great.
You're tugging at my heartstrings
You wanna
here,
go to
Michelle, with
Italy?
all this Italian-themed
Yeah.
merchandise and culinary experience.
And it was really personally curated
Yeah.
by some folks who are near and dear to our hearts.
Oh, really?
Bob Griffin and Roseanne Russell.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. Okay,
Yeah.
very good.
Just-
So that's a thought put into this.
A lot of thought was
Yeah,
put in. We're so
yeah.
appreciative for them for their support, and that I think it's going to be a great. If you're thinking about going to Italy anyway, or you'd like to kind of expand and travel, this is a great opportunity to do it while supporting the health center.
Right.
And it does include a $1,500 travel voucher for
Oh, even
flights and
better.
transport.
Okay.
So
What a nice gift. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, we're
Or
excited
item.
about it.
You
Yeah,
could win it.
You could win.
Just keep bidding.
Yeah. So we're excited about that.
If you'd like to stay more local, there's
Yes.
also a private chef's dinner and drink tasting at Mason's for 8. So that's, if you haven't been to Mason's yet, this would be your perfect opportunity to see it in
Yes.
style.
Yes, the old Quincy Masonic Temple right on Hancock Street downtown, a Jimmy Lang production.
Yes, and we are so appreciative to Jimmy and the JP Fuji Group
Yes.
for making this possible.
Very nice. That's an excellent gift as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, or item. I shouldn't say gift. You have to win.
You do have to bid, yes.
Bid early and often, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Can we talk a little bit about maybe a fundraising goal, Michelle, for this event?
Sure, yeah. We've got a goal to raise $250,000 in support of
Wow, okay.
essential programs and services for the health center, and so we're doing our best to get there, and really appreciate support from the community.
Sure, sure. And Sandra, maybe talk a little bit about what the funds could be used for from June Bloom.
So as I said, we have so many programs and services, but not all of them are covered by current grants that we receive or from, revenues from insurance
Sure.
or so forth. So
Yeah.
it's really going to kind of help us continue to offer the wide variety of programs and services so that we can kind of, like I said, wrap our arms around our patients and
All
make sure
the
they
extra
have-
things, right,
Yeah.
that aren't covered in
Definitely.
your budgets. I know that when you unveiled the mammography unit, that was just a huge asset that folks took advantage of because they didn't have to
Yeah.
travel to
Right, there was a
or
void, and
get an appointment.
we filled it.
Right, exactly. The pharmacy is another example, right, of that as well.
Yes, please come check it out.
Right, and you do collaborate with some of the major healthcare institutions as well.
Oh, we
right?
have excellent relationships with all of the community. I mean, we are a clinical affiliate of Boston Medical Center, but
Right.
we have a very great relationships with Social Health and all of our community health partners.
Yep. So, and I always like to point out too that there is still, I guess, kind of a misconception that healthcare centers are only for folks who don't have insurance, and that's not true.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No, I mean, our patient base, we have, executives,
Right.
we have, housewives, we have,
Right.
Anybody. Anybody. Our doors are open to anybody.
So, and you mentioned Taunton, you're in the public school system.
We are.
in
We
Taunton.
opened our first school-based health center in Taunton a
Yeah.
couple of years ago, and it's going great. Yeah,
So that's really taking it into the community as well.
absolutely.
Michelle, for June Bloom, do you need any help? Do you need any more donations? What do you need? This is your chance.
I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
I would say yes. So we're still, the tickets are still available
Okay.
for sale. They're $175 per ticket,
Okay.
$300 for a pair of ticket, and we do have a senior discount for
Oh.
$125.
Okay.
So please purchase your ticket. We'd love to see you at the event. If you're not able to attend for whatever reason, as I mentioned, go ahead, bid on the silent auction,
Yeah.
purchase raffle tickets, or truly just send, you can go online to manetchc.org/donate and just make a contribution of any amount. It really all is appreciated.
Sure.
Yeah.
And help that night? folks step up? Yeah?
We actually could use a couple more event volunteers the night of, so if anybody's interested, please feel free to reach out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can always use help, I'm sure.
We could always
Extra
use help.
hands.
There's and there's always cleanup afterwards. Folks
Yeah.
kind of
Yes.
forget about that part of it. You're both nodding your heads
Yes.
in agreement. Yes. We were sorry that Cynthia Sierra couldn't make it here today. Unfortunately,
She sends her regards,
but she will be here in the future, I am sure. And I know
Absolutely.
she's very busy doing other Manet duties for sure. Anything else we should add for June Bloom right now?
No, but please
Yeah.
consider joining us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Social media presence as well?
Yep, look at us on all of Manet's social media
Okay.
platforms. We'll be pushing out different content, so make it easy for you to check out our auction items.
Great. I hope you have a wonderful event again this year.
Thank you.
So thanks for stopping by to share it with us.
Thank you.
You are
Thanks for
very
having
welcome.
us.
Forecast for the rest of the day today, it's great. Get out and enjoy it. It'll be partly sunny, breezy, and pleasant with temperatures in the low 60s this afternoon. Another chilly night tonight, believe it or not. Upper 40s for lows. Tomorrow is gray, but it's dry, and it's pretty mild. Temperatures will be in the mid-60s. The rain will move in, probably not till overnight tomorrow night. It'll rain all day Sunday, unfortunately, with showers off and on, and temperatures only in the mid-50s, kind of a raw day. Memorial Day looks iffy. Maybe some morning showers and some afternoon clouds. It gets better after that, of course. Thanks again to Sandra McGunigle and Michelle Duggan for joining us from Manet Community Health Center. Thank you to our crew, and thank you for watching. We're off here now until June 5th. Quincy Pride will stop by then and tell us about this year's festival. Hope you can join us for that. Meantime, check our website anytime, qatv.org. All of our latest programs are there. There's news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and much more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great week.